no way. It's the tent village. It's people fighting in solidarity for their rights that got people housed today and yesterday.
A victory in the shadow of the Olympic flame. For Democracy Now!, I'm Aaron Maté.
With special thanks to Democracy Now!'s Nicole Salazar and Hani Massoud, as well as Julius Fisher of Vancouver's Working TV and the Vancouver Media Co-op. In these last few minutes, we're joined by Democracy Now! Producer Aaron Maté. What was it like, Aaron, to go home? Going to Vancouver was actually going home for you.
It was. It's interesting, Amy. You leave and you come back, and on the one hand, there's this huge hoopla and people in downtown celebrating. There were zip lines fastened to buildings, and people were literally flying over your head, screaming and hollering, and there's a lot of sort of celebration. But one thing actually we didn't get to in this piece was sort of this neo-authoritarian push that came along with these Olympics. There was a censorship put on artists, people who had to, if they took Olympic funding, had to sign contracts vowing not to criticize the Olympic Committee or the Games. In one case, one gallery actually had to paint over a mural it had put up of the Olympic symbol with 5 unhappy faces and 1 happy face, just to depict the artist's feelings about the Games. You know, 1 happy face, but mostly unhappy faces. It had to be taken down. That was challenged, and then eventually it was put back up. But to come back to this weird struggle in a North American city, where murals have to be debated based on their feelings based on their statements about these Olympic Games, it was surreal.
It's amazing to think, since we certainly didn't get it in all the glitz, that that Vancouver's downtown Eastside is the poorest postal code in all of Canada.
It is, yeah. And what's striking is that it's literally just blocks from the main Olympic sites. Really, some of the things that we saw, that department store where people are lined up down the block just to buy merchandise, it's about a few blocks away from where the tent village was and where residents occupied this vacant condo lot for 2 weeks. But yeah, it's the poverty there is striking, and it's visible everywhere.
And the tent city did have a victory.
It did. It was amazing. This actually was just announced yesterday. This condo lot was a contentious place, and people were quite nervous about it when it was first purchased. It's seen as a site of gentrification. And so it was taken over, and people brought in tents, over 40 tents. There were campfires, people watching around the clock. They demanded housing, and they got it. The city awarded housing to 41 people. Every single homeless person that was living in Tent City that they could account for has now been given a place in social housing.
Well, I want to thank you very much for an excellent report, Aaron, and it's nice to have you back. Aaron Maté, Democracy Now! Producer, and that does it for our broadcast. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Burke, Shrufa Dukadus, Aaron Maté, Anjali Kamat, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Massoud, Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curries, Miguel Nogueras, our engineers. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.